I wasn't planning on bringing anyone else in, but that will change.
Sometimes you're a fire, sometimes you're a ghost. Sometimes you can give me all the things that I love the most. Sometimes you're a queen, sometimes you're a curse, and sometimes a whole lot worse. Yeah, nobody's quite like you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Blue Hell Worldwide here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and today in episode number 24 we take on Premier League opposition for the first time in the save, taking on Inter Milan in the FA Cup, and off the back of that, to round off the month of January, we will also take on Monterrey, the team that we took to glory to finish off our Hexagon challenge earlier this football manager. We'll take them on in the league as well. So if you're looking forward to that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we come into this FA Cup round of 64 games straight off the back of where we finished up yesterday's episode, which if you missed, I will leave a link to in the top right corner. We took on Beijing Guan over 2 legs, and it was an interesting affair, it is fair to say. But today we turn our focus back onto both the FA Cup and the league, and our opposition today, as I said, the first time we're taking on top tier opposition in this save, and it is Inter Milan, who, as you can see, financially not too well, which I suppose reflects what they are like in real life at the moment. But they still have Conte, they still have Lukaku, Martinez there as well as Skriniar. It's going to be a very tough test for us, especially over in Italy for this game. We've done quite well to get to this stage. It'll be interesting to see how, for the most part, mostly first choice players get on against a team of this caliber, but really there's not much to get through before the first game of today's episode, so we're just going to get straight into things. We'll come back shortly for this round of 64 FA Cup game against Inter Milan. And we do have TV coverage for this FA Cup game. There is the Inter lineup: 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 3 in the midfield, and Lukaku with Silva up front. In terms of us, it is our first choice 11, but Reyes and Wintle both just a little bit on the heavy side of their workload lately. So Gaddy kind of goes into the advanced playmaker role, and Wilson Harris will start up front. But more or less our first choice 11, those other players on the bench, and we'll see what we can do here against top tier opposition in Inter. And we do have the first corner here after 4 minutes, which Louis Martins puts into the mixer. They do hit it away, and it is Barella making his way forward down the right-hand side, and already into looking quite dangerous there in the all-white. We are in our usual light blue hoops, as it is absolutely bucketing down here in Italy, and we get the ball back up to Louis Martins after stopping that attack from Barella. We put a ball there for Handanovic, but they do cover it safely, and now he will boot it deep. And Lukaku, as you would expect here, winning the header and flicking it onto Andre Silva. And yeah, we're expecting a pretty tough day at the office in this FA Cup game. No doubt we're going to get outclassed, but we might just be able to hang on. Lukaku with a shot there. Somehow it fell to him, comes off the post, and we get away with that one early, and it does remain 0-0. 16 minutes gone, second highlight of the game. We have a throw-in, although we give that straight to Click, and now he flicks that up to Andre Silva with a long ball, though Punchek gets in between him and the ball there, and we get possession back quite nicely. So we are holding on, but in the 4th minute, Lukaku with a good chance, a bit of a saving grace from the woodwork there, but we now start to drive forward ourselves through Johnny Russell, Metcha, hitting that back for Louis Martins. What can the German do? He's been good for us so far this season. Back to Busio, Jala, all over the top. Great chance for Harris, but Handanovic gets a hand to it. That was a golden chance, and I feel like we're going to need to be taking those, but good to see that we've created a decent chance earlier than the 20th minute. The corner goes in, it falls to Handanovic. Rather luckily there, it looked like a bit of a mess at the back from Inter Milan, but a good chance for us there, but still it remains 0-0. And that is half-time in this FA Cup round of 64 clash. We had a really good chance there for Wilson Harris, the most dangerous chance of the half. And on the whole, Inter haven't done too much more than we have, so pretty happy with how things are going. Hopefully we can create a few more chances in the second half and take them, because we're going to need to. That could be costly, that miss from Harris, although was a very good save from Handanovic. We're going to make one change at half-time. You might be able to see in behind my face come shoulders that Johnny F. and Russell down to a 6.3 rating. So we'll take him off, see what Luke Bolton can do in his place to start the second half. But fairly happy with how things are going, still locked up at halftime. Okay, an hour gone now. It is still 0-0. Inter definitely getting on the front foot a bit more in the second half, but we're going to make another change. Felix Metcha on a yellow card and a 6.3 rating. So we're going to bring Daniel Shallowy on for him, but still in this game at 0 with a half hour to go. And now 69 minutes gone, a nice time to be making our last substitution. Louis Martins on a 6.3, yellow heart. Aiden Stanley can come on for him. So those will be our free subs, just getting rid of some players not playing too well, and we'll see if we can hang on for these last 20 minutes. And a highlight just before we can make that Stanley substitution, I believe, and Inter down the good end of the field. The ball falls there for Sensei. We try and clear it. Andre Silva back on it though, and they are back on the attack here. Inter we've been holding out really nicely up until now. Hopefully we can keep this going and might even take this game to penalties as Lazaro just inside the box. It's a good block there from Fontas. They somehow keep that though. Perisic back to Lazaro, puts a ball in. Punchik hits that clear, but Click will get there now. Barella out to, not too sure who that was, but Lazaro now on the edge of the box, and they're definitely camping down our end here. Inter Milan. We try and head that away again there through Ola Sunday, but it goes back to them now. Andre Silva, tight angle, and he beats the goalkeeper. And after a sustained period of pressure, they finally have their goal. And I think that might break us, truth be told, because we were really clinging on in this game. We hadn't really created anything since the chance to Wilson Harris that was saved by Handanovic in the first half. We had a few chances there to perhaps get rid of that ball, so that's a little bit frustrating, but in the end, I think they're just a little bit too good for us, and we go 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go. 72 minutes gone now, and shortly after going a goal up, they're going to try and make it a double and kill this game off. We head that one away, though. Bolton back to Ola Sunday, who is on an orange injury and down to a red heart, so hopefully he can carry on and not be too badly affected by that, as we are going to be asking our first 11 to back up in these upcoming league games before we enter the Europa League knockouts against Arsenal at the start of February, which will be coming up in tomorrow's episode. But Inter Milan back on the ball and get going down this right-hand side. It is Sensi making his way forward. That was the player I couldn't pick up before. Now Lazaro for Andre Silva. Good-headed chance for him, but puts it over the bar, and we are hanging in there, still only 1-0 down. Into our time now, we're not really doing anything to try and get a win in this game, unfortunately, and that will be full time. If we put that chance away early for Wilson Harris, that could have been a completely different game. That was the only chance that we did create, though. We let them in the 71st minute through Andre Silva. To be fair, nothing overly threatening apart from that chance, and it was a little bit avoidable. I thought we could have cleared the ball before they got that chance there, but in the end, they were just too good for us. You look at the stats, and if they didn't win that game, they could have felt very harshly done by. So we make our way out of the FA Cup. A few less competitions to focus on now, just the League and Europa League left for us, and we've got more Premier League opposition coming up tomorrow in Arsenal, but we bow out of the FA Cup, albeit we did hang in there very well, only losing 1-0 to Inter Milan. And we are back with highlights from the River Plate game that we had before our Monterrey game, which is going to be the second one of today's episode. This one also in the league, trying to keep ourselves in that top half of the table, and we did get off to a good start here. Merely up to Ryan Wintle. He picks out the run from Felix Metcha, who is one-on-one with the keeper, goes just past him at the near post, and we go 1-0 up after 5 minutes. And then at the 13-minute mark, we made it 2-0. Martins with the throw-in. Busio back to Martins, puts the ball in, and Johnny F. and Russell, a nice header into the top left corner. We were 2-0 up at halftime. Made a few substitutions at halftime, as I felt like we had this game fairly well under control. But then at the hour mark, Alvarez with a ball that goes past Melia, finds Kolaskal, and they get it to 2-1. And then we gave away a penalty in the 70th minute, which they just got past Melia again, and it was 2-2 with 20 minutes to go. But luckily for us, we did get a winning goal with 6 minutes to go. Louis Martins to Wintle plays that nicely through for Bolton, being the goalkeeper at the near post again. And after nearly letting that one slip, we do get 3 points against River Plate for the second time this season. Looking very good prior to halftime. They got a little bit of a run on in the second half, did River Plate, but luckily for us, we got that winning goal late on. Overall, they can feel a little bit harshly done by. We were very clinical with our chances, though they were not so much with theirs, and we get another good 3 points in the league going into today's episode. So what that means for the league table prior to this Monterrey game, once we get down to where we are, is we find ourselves in fifth, a few points behind Santos in fourth, those top three teams still with a big gap on the rest. But we are now 10 points clear of the relegation zone, so just starting to extend that ever so slightly. And if we can keep playing the way that we've been playing for the last couple of months, we shouldn't find ourselves in that relegation fight, which would be a nice thing to say. But at the moment, a bad patch of form, and we could still find ourselves going back down there. So hopefully we can keep some good form up, especially against Monterrey, who are just out of that relegation zone at the moment, down in 16th, the team that we did take to CONCACAF Champions League glory to finish our Hexagon challenge not that long ago. But before we get into this Monterrey game, we have made one more player sale. Alexander Tete, as we mentioned in yesterday's episode, the vice captain of the club, he was not happy with the amount of first team football that he was getting. So he wanted to be shopped out to other clubs. And in the end, after turning down a few contracts from other interested parties, he has joined RKC Wick. We sold him there for 400,000 euros, I believe. Indeed it was. We could have got a little bit more for him from other clubs, which is a little bit frustrating, but in the end he has gone all the way down to the Bundesliga 4. So I think that is the 5th tier of this World Super League, so a decent jump down from where we are in Super League 1, and you can see that they are, if we try and find them, down towards the relegation zone as well, so he's got a battle with his new club. Here's Alexander Tete. We bought him in at the start of last season when we started the save for 1.1 million euros because we were quite light in the defensive midfield area of the pitch, but we have improved there a little bit more since then. And with him leaving the club, we can let the likes of Halifa and Gongolo get some game time when we do get injuries to the likes of Sanchez and Jala. So he has left us, Alexander Tete. Solid first season, did what we needed him to, and he has moved on to RKC Wick. But everyone is available for this game apart from the injuries that we already had to Pulido and Zusi, who has recovered but not quite fit enough to come back on the bench for this game. So Jaden Lindsay still keeps his spot there, but we're not too far away from having most of our players, Alan Pulido aside, ready for action here at SKC, which is nice. And we'll come back shortly with the first 11 for this home league game against Monterrey. And here are the team sheets for this game against Monterrey. As I said, we are at full strength. Alan Pulido and Graham Zusi aside, pretty much as strong as we can put out there at the moment. And on the right is Monterrey. Not too many familiar names to me there. Billy Cometio, the Liverpool loanee, is there though. Decent, promising centre-back. I've got him in there at the moment. Do Monterrey. Vincent Janssen up front might be someone to keep an eye on as well. But hopefully, with these guys down just outside the relegation zone, we can pick up a good result at home. 16 minutes gone, and the first highlight is a throw into Monterrey in their traditional blue and white stripes. We are still in the light blue and dark blue hoops, and Gonzalez on the ball here. That's a terrible pass from him, though. Winter will find Russell. His pass is blocked. It falls very kindly there for Busio. Sets up Reyes, and they have absolutely gifted us a goal there, have Monterrey, and that shows why they might be struggling this season, as that was a very poor clearance from Gonzalez. You'll see it here. Wintle finds Russell. I think he tried to pass this. It was blocked. Metcha back to Busio. Sees the run from Reyes, who must have just been onside. Another good finish there from our young striker. And we go 1-0 up just after the quarter of an hour mark. 28 minutes gone. We have a corner now. And Louis Martins will put this in the mixer. Richard heads this straight back out to him. And now that's Wintle. His shot is blocked. It takes a very kind deflection, though. Falls in the bottom right corner of the net. They can feel a little bit hard done by there, Monterrey, but we get a little bit of luck and go 2-0 up just shy of the half-hour mark. The Richards heads that ball back out to Louis Martins, picks out Wintle in a bit of space. I guess that was going on target, but that's a really harsh deflection there for Monterrey. Not much they can do to keep that out of the back of the net, and we go 2-0 up. 39 minutes gone. It's another highlight staying with us on the ball as we have a throw-in, albeit deep inside our own half. Wintle, though, a poor pass there. This time he is the one making the error after he was gifted one from Gonzalez earlier, but it is Monterrey on the attack. They put a ball in here. They get a header on the end of that, but Melia is more or less straight at, and it will remain 2-0 for now. The highlight will continue, though. Finds Metcha. Good ball up here for Anthony Reyes, looking for a double. He probably could have taken a touch to try and take that around the keeper. Took on the first time shot. Well saved, and still it remains 2-0 just shy of half-time. And that is half-time. A pretty good half from us there, truth be told, looking the better team. All the highlights, for the most part, falling in our favour. Monterrey, one of those highlights, getting a decent shot off, but nothing too threatening, and we put two in the back of the net as well. Both of them had an element of luck about them, it is fair to say, but we'll take what's happening at the moment. 2-0 up, and hopefully we can keep this going in the second half. Okay, 50 minutes gone here, and Anthony Reyes has just picked up a little bit of a knock, so we're going to be cautious here. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Wilson Harris can come on for him. Hopefully what happens in the River Plate game with early subs in the second half doesn't happen here, but we'll just make sure that he doesn't get too injured with the striker depth we have at the moment. It remains 2-0 early on in the second half. 72 minutes gone. We're going to make our last substitution. Only a few minutes ago, Daniel Shalloy came on for a little bit tired Felix Metcher, and now Johnny F. and Russell down to a red heart as well. Luke Bolton can come on for him. So those are our free subs used, all in our front three, and with just under 20 minutes to go, still it remains 2-0. 76 minutes gone, and we have a free kick just in our half. Martins finds Shalloy, and now Lucio puts it back out to Martins, puts a ball in. They do deal with it here. Do Monterrey. Gonzalez with the ball forward, and this time is able to find a teammate, Janssen, holding the ball up there for the Mexicans, who really need a goal here to try and get back into it. But Fontas heads that back to Melia in goal, and we will look to build from the back with just over 10 minutes to go in this game, feeling pretty comfortable at the moment. But if Monterrey were able to get a goal back, they'd be right in this. But it's a good ball forward for Wilson Harris. He'll take this shot on, puts it a little bit high and wide, I suspect, and it does still remain 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. 91 minutes gone here. It's a free kick to Monterrey. They put this in the mixer, and the ball does find the back of the net, and the goal stands, and we're not shown it. Oh, hold on. Back to 2-0. So I suspect that goal was ruled out for offside, but we weren't shown why, because that was interesting. When that highlight just then started, it was 2-1, and it went back to 2-0. So I presume the goal was ruled out for offside, but we weren't shown exactly what it was. So something must have been up there. Either way, Monterrey putting a ball in the back of the net, but we're not entirely sure why it got ruled out. But either way, still 2-0 as we see out the last closing seconds of this game. So they had a chance there to try and get back in the game as we play this out. Ball played for Wilson Harris. Monterrey will clear that to Leon, who runs that straight out of play, and that will be full time. So interesting ending to the game there, but on the whole, that was a pretty comfortable win for us. Truth be told, getting goals in the first half to Reyes and Wintle. As I said, both of them had a little bit of luck. Monterrey just a little bit sloppy at the back for the first one, and then, yeah, quite a bit of luck with the deflection for Wintle's second. But either way, I think it's fair to say we looked the better side over those 90 minutes, and we pick up another 3 points in the league. And we'll come back shortly and see what that does to the league table. And we are back, having played our last game before the end of the transfer window, and something's happened which we'll get to in a second after this league wrap, because we might have to reevaluate the fact that I thought we had done all our business, because, yeah, there's a bit of an injury which could be not too serious, but it's not exactly in an area where I wanted us to get an injury. But either way, that 2-0 win over Monterrey sees us cling on to 5th place, 3 points clear of Santos Laguna, but still 2 points behind Santos. But we are now 13 points ahead of Boca Juniors in the relegation zone, so starting to put a decent gap between those teams and ourselves now. So if we can keep this going just a little bit longer, hopefully we won't have to be thinking about a relegation fight too much more, and we can secure ourselves in the mid-table for our first year of the second tier in the World Super League. But we'll get to the injury that I mentioned. As I said, I thought we'd done all our transfer business now that Tete left. We might have still sold a few more players, but I wasn't planning on bringing anyone else in. But that will change, because if we go down here a little bit before we get to the press conference, Anthony Reyes has pulled his hamstring. Now, I know he's only out for 2 to 3 weeks, but without Reyes and without Polito, I don't know if I want Wilson Harris as our first choice striker. He is capable, but in behind that, we're going to have William Igor in the backup team, and he was averaging 6.25 from the few games that we played him in before the start of this window. So I think before the Arsenal game, because that comes up just after the end of this transfer window, I might have to go searching for a striker that we can bring in on loan. I was considering doing that before the start of the window. Wilson Harris showed me enough to suggest that he could be a backup striker, but without Polito for another couple of months and without Reyes for nearly a month, I think we might just need to bring in another striker now. So we might be delving into the transfer market and may have a new addition to the club at the start of tomorrow's episode before we take on Arsenal in the Europa League round of 32. So that's a bit of a shame. Anthony Reyes has been very good for us, considering he only came through our youth intake last season. Still only rated as a 2-star current ability player, but he's got some really nice stats there. You can see how he's improving. Hopefully that injury doesn't hurt his progression too much, as he could be a really good player for this club for the next couple of years, or at least for the rest of the save anyway. And we'll, yeah, as I said, just with that injury, not too sure about Wilson Harris being the first choice, and more so Willian Eagle being the backup. That's the concern that I truly have. So we might go seeing who's available to bring in on loan, and they will hopefully be here before the Arsenal game in tomorrow's episode. But that will do for today. In the end, getting bundled out of the FA Cup by Inter. As I said, I thought we put up a pretty good fight against those guys. Premier League opposition, and then 2 good solid wins in the league, including that one over Monterrey tomorrow. As I said, we'll be coming back right at the start of February to take on Arsenal, and we've got the Gremio game in between those 2 legs, and we'll show you guys highlights of that one as well, but more Premier League opposition to be taking on tomorrow, and we'll see if we can make our way one step further in the Europa League and keep this nice run that we've got in that competition going. But if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you do enjoy this series here on the channel and want to keep up to date prior to the launch of FM22, of course, then also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. And until tomorrow, when we take on Arsenal and might have a new face up front, hopefully. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Sometimes you can